Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to the temple. We begin our service singing together Inei Ma Tov U'ma Na'im, how good and how pleasant it is to be here together and to welcome Shabbat together. Family to lead us with the blessing over the candles and the fruit of the vine. We turn to page 2 for the blessing over the candles of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotah B'tzivanu l'chagod ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to keep the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei pri hagafen. Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei pri hagafen.
Mazal Tov to Eliza, who is going to become a bat mitzvah tomorrow night, and to all her family. We continue now on page 20 as we sing together Lecha Dodi, welcoming the Sabbath bride. turn now to page 28 as we rise for the Baruch Hu.
La 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 la
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch Ata Adonai Amahariv Aravim. And we turn to page 34 for the calling of the Shema. Please be seated.
And you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you on this day shall be upon your heart, shall be upon your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and when you rise up, and you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they will be for frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates, that you may remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוך בך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. And we turn to page 40 to sing together מי כמוך. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורס סוכת שלום, עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
Oh
turn to page 46 for the tefillah.
Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi agite hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, God of our fathers and mothers, God of Abraham, God of Isaac, and God of Jacob, God of Sarah, God of Rebekah, God of Rachel, and God of Leah, the great, mighty, and awesome God, transcendent God, who bestows loving kindness, creates everything out of love, remembers the love of our fathers and mothers, and brings redemption to their children's children for the sake of the divine name. Sovereign deliverer, helper, and shield, blessed are you, Adonai, Sarah's helper, Abraham's shield. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. You are forever mighty, Adonai, you give life to all. You rain dew upon us. You sustain life through love, giving life to all. Through great compassion, supporting the falling, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who sleep in the dust. Who is like you, source of mighty acts? Who resembles you, a sovereign who takes and gives life, causing deliverance to spring up and faithfully giving life to all? Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated as we turn to page 61 for the blessing for shalom, the blessing for peace. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, or eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
Shalom
need healing and strength and courage in our lives, the Misha Berach, the prayer for healing and courage and strength, is on page 253. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
The easy way to speak about what is the Jewish approach to the question of abortion is to just refer to a Jewish law, what we call halacha. It's a very strange phenomenon. Normally, Jewish rabbis and Jewish tradition argues about everything. We cannot agree about anything, almost anything, and there is always controversy and arguments. The one exception that I can think of is how Jews related through history when it comes to Jewish law to the question of abortion. Already in the second book of the Torah, in the book of Exodus, when Moses stands in Sinai and gets what we call in our tradition and also in the book of Exodus, the book of covenant, the laws that are creating the basic covenant between us and God. Adonai says to Moses that life begins after birth. Adonai says clearly, or Jewish law says clearly in the book of Exodus, that life is not something that you can relate to an embryo or a fetus, that it's not a human being. Or in the words of Rashi, the greatest commentary to the Torah in the 11th century, life begins when the head and the majority of the body are out of the womb, meaning life begins on birth. Based on that, the rabbis in the Talmud, in a very rare issue of consensus, all agree that if an embryo, if a pregnancy endangers the well-being or the life or the physics of a woman, she should have an abortion. Later on, Maimonides in the 12th century, in the first code of Jewish law, writes that if a pregnancy endangers the life or the well-being of a woman, we should treat the pregnancy as a pursuer, someone that is after another person to harm them, and then it's a mitzvah, that's the words of Maimonides, to have an abortion. Rabbis in the Middle Ages, 700, 800, 600 years ago, say that it's not only about the health of the woman, it's also about her well-being, whether it's her emotional well-being, whether it's her social or economical well-being and other criteria. that in such case, she should choose to have an abortion. This is why when we had a Jewish state, it was a non-brainer. And in Israel, not only that abortions are accessible, to have an abortion is paid by the national health bill. That means that the government pays for women who choose to have an abortion in an Israeli hospital. It's not only a right, it's something that the government thinks that it should pay for. This is a rare moment in Judaism where there is such a consensus, where ultra-Orthodox rabbis, modern Orthodox rabbis, open Orthodoxy rabbis, conservative rabbis, I can go on and on. It will take 20 minutes to count all the different movements that we have agree. There's only one ultra-Orthodox hospital in Israel. It's in Jerusalem. And the rabbi there is also a doctor. He's the #1 expert on Jewish law when it comes to medical issues. And he even widens the approach when it comes to abortion and says that a lot of reasons should make the woman choose to have an abortion. So as I said, the easy way to speak about Jewish approach to abortions is to simply quote Jewish law. But actually, that would not be the right way for us, because we are Reform Jews and we have other values except for Jewish law. For instance, on really serious matters when it comes to Jewish law, like the dietary laws, keeping kosher and not eating pork or shellfish or other crawling things or all kinds of animals that are not kosher, a big thing in Jewish law. Or when it comes to Shabbat and observing Shabbat and not driving on Shabbat or playing music on Shabbat or using electricity on Shabbat, as Reform Jews, we look at Jewish law and Jewish tradition as something to inspire us, but not necessarily tell us what to do. So also in this matter, we should look at Jewish tradition and Jewish law as an inspiration. But there are other values that are important to us as Reform Jews. One of them comes from the book of Genesis, the first book in the Torah, that says that human beings, all human beings, not only men, also women, also other genders and orientations, are all created in the image of God and are all created equally. And being created in the image of God means that human beings know what is right and what is wrong. And human being in the image of God enjoy what we call the freedom of choice, the freedom to choose what is right and what is wrong for them. As Reform Jews, and by the way, I think also as Americans, we also value the idea of human autonomy, that we have the autonomy to make our own decisions, mainly if it comes to our own well-being, to our social, economical, physical, medical well-being. And that applies also to what is called, in today's terms, reproductive justice and reproductive rights. So when it comes to a Jewish tradition and Jewish law, this is one of the few subjects that you don't have to weigh 40 opinions to the right and 40 opinions to the left. There's actually a consensus that the freedom to choose for women, whether they want to carry a pregnancy till the end, and then at the end it becomes a human being or a life, or they want to end the pregnancy because all sort of reason, is actually a Jewish value. Shabbat Shalom. We are going to sing Shalom Aleichem, which appears on page 124, if I remember correctly. No, it's not on that page, I'm sorry.
Shalom Aleichem,
216.
Shalom
turn to page 283 for the Aleinu. Please join me as we read together. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else. Please be seated as we turn to page 287. We continue together on the top of page 287. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding. Loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech. May we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas. And light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation, whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. On this Shabbat, we remember especially Joshua Fink, Raymond Allen Sr., Podina Eisenberg, Marty Goldman, Geraldine Louie, Harry Wellington, Estelle Garmon, Louie Kofferman, Ted Perlmutter, David Radman, Frida Shapiro, Erwin Waterman, Irene Zimmerman, Martin Berg, Thomas Esri, William A. Flank, Hilda Present, Gerta Schwartz, Ruth Weinstock, Fred Hamel, Jerome Kaufman, Eleanor Young, Annette Liebman, Francine Natowitz, Annalie Jaffe, Maurice Coleman Zeiger, Sol H. Becker, Leon Hirsch, Mary Solinger. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. With the blessed memories from our loved ones in our hearts, we rise as we turn to page 294 for the Mourner's Kaddish. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעולמי עולמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. זיכרונם לברכה, may the memory of our loved ones come to be a blessing and a benediction to us all. Amen. Our closing song is Oseh Shalom. We ask God to bring peace and wholeness and wellness to all humanity. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Mazal Tov to Eliza and the Weinberg family. Please say Shabbat Shalom to someone that you've never met before, and please take one of the baked goods that the Women of Reform Judaism has baked for us at the entrance. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.